I'm floating in space. If you follow me for a long time, then you won't be surprised to know that I hate video game reviews. Not because of the fact that I think they're all wrong and that I have a better opinion, sometimes, but simply because of the fact that I just think the concept is very contradictory. When it comes to big games made by big people, audiences and consumers have a certain expectation they like to maintain for said brands and people. You wouldn't expect a mainline Mario game to suck, now would you? This sort of makes this process of reviewing these kinds of games inherently scary, because people already expect that non-existing Mario to be near perfect, and anybody who disagrees either sucks at the game or they're just idiots with no sense of what's good or bad. But then what's the point of a review if what we want out of a review is just our own personal biases to be confirmed? When reviews come out days prior to a game's initial launch date, people already expect greatness, and when a game is flooded with raving reviews, then the one that's less than stellar review sticks out like a sore thumb and gives us the impression that this guy that reviewed it must be wrong. Why? For having a different opinion? Isn't that what a review is? Why spend the time being mad at a review for a game when you haven't even played the game to formulate your own opinions to disagree with the reviewer? Or if you have played the game, the review itself doesn't change your experience now, does it? It's just another thought on the internet, yet this matters to people, I guess. Even though you already will think that the game's good or bad, one review will not change your mind. Or maybe it will, but I guess that's the point of it. But it seems nowadays people don't really want to absorb the words from a review and just want to see what the people score it with that arbitrary number that we're all so used to. Take that Stranding, for example. And before we actually do, let's actually get in the mood for this, alright? It's 2015. Earlier in 2014, you were given the news by KONAMI that the great and legendary developer Hideo Kojima, creator of the Metal Gear franchise, was going to team up with Guillermo del Toro, master of monsters, to make a new Silent Hill game. Not only that, but they were also being helped out by the famous actor Norman Reedus, famous of course from the Walking Dead series, and the king of Japanese horror and manga, Junji Ito. It's a dream project, really, one that was preceded with a brief but horrifying demo known as PT. Yet it's 2015, and this is where the news came in. KONAMI no longer wanted to focus on gaming, shifting their entire company's focus, pursuing the development of pachinko games instead. With this news came the heartbreaking announcement that Silent Hills was getting cancelled. Now, while not totally confirmed, it can be speculated that Kojima's breakup with KONAMI was a messy divorce, and that's how this whole news was treated, like some sort of tabloidy news about the breakup between a couple that have been inseparable for 30 years. Now, it was all gone. Then came the reports of KONAMI acting insane, monitoring their employees, making sure that they don't say anything on their Facebook pages, demoting developers to janitors, and leading some to face a deep depression, one they couldn't really escape due to KONAMI allegedly blackmailing them into staying, or else they'll make sure no other company would ever hire them. Then there's Kojima, whose existence practically vanished as soon as he left. They scrubbed away his team, they took away PT from the PlayStation stores, they didn't even mention his name, not that much anymore anyways. Worst of all, they forgot to hit the like button on this video. It's a real shame. Kojima, Jesus, Kojima was lost and afraid. He had no one, he had nothing. That year, Kojima was not allowed to attend the VGAs, and it's really heartbreaking. Jeff Keighley announced it through his big puppy dog eyes, and he was telling us that Kojima was banned from coming. Everybody made their clickbaity videos on this whole issue, their clickbaity articles. Everyone hated KONAMI for a whole year or something, and then we all sort of forgot. That is until, woo, there he is, boys. Oh my God, he's back. He made it. He made it back. He's home. He is home. Oh my God, is that Norman Reedus and a funky fetus? Oh Jesus, this is so brave. This is so evocative. This is the greatest gaming moment ever made, boys. I have no fucking clue what's going on. Oh God, I haven't even played this game, and I'm already craning my leg, dude. Oh God, this is just So inspiring. I could watch this all day. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Get my diabetes shot right now. This shit is sugar. Needless to say, the journey Kojima was taking was a really rough one, but it quickly became one of the biggest comeback stories in gaming. When Sony gave Kojima a chance by rebuilding his studio and getting back his old team, making the game he's always wanted to make, it gave people hope and really became a feel-good story of the year, if not the whole decade. Not only that, but the trailers made surrounding Death Stranding were incredibly popular and quickly became an event anytime a new trailer was released. Fans were in awe by the game's cryptidness, its creativity, the Kojima-isms that were written all over the wall. This was and still is a game people are looking forward to. So is it any wonder that some reviewers might just be a little afraid of this game? As of this recording, the lowest mainstream review belongs to IGN, and it's a 6.8. It's a review that has people up in arms, calling out the reviewer and stating that they didn't know what they were talking about, or that they're wrong or something. Like, dude, it's a week before the game's release date. You haven't even played the game yet, and you're already saying his opinion is wrong? Based off what? Based off the fact that everyone else loved the game? What, you mean like everyone who has already said that it's incredibly boring but still somehow gave it a 9 out of 10? Or like how some people pointed out that IGN's other divisions gave it higher scores, but this one particular person gave it a 6.8, so therefore one person with a different opinion and a different experience with a different background is somehow wrong? This is what I mean by reviews are confusing to me, because it seems like people just want to hear certain things out of reviewers' mouths. They want to indulge their own opinion. They want to look for that one opinion that they think gets it right. But that's not what a review is it? It's not meant to satisfy anyone's bias on a game, be it good or bad. It's meant to inform people and perhaps even quell people's concerns on a game that's yet to be released, or their curiosities. But how can that be possible if a review is made by someone we don't even know? We don't know what they like, we don't know what their tastes are, so how can we rely on what a reviewer is saying? Maybe a slow and boring game to them is super fun, but to us it's, well, slow and boring. Maybe they just really hate fighting games and they don't really understand them, and maybe they're just stuck reviewing a genre of game they never really liked in the first place, and they just have to do it because it's their job. Also, how do we know that this review was made with the consumers in mind? Should they even be making a review based on what they like or what we like? Now, of course, we can just gather all the other reviews that were made on the game and aggregate them together, and we can form an honest opinion, but like really, until we've played a game, we won't know if we'll like it or not. Making reviews is just a bit pointless. I mean, I'm sure you can get an idea on whether or not a game is good or bad by seeing or reading hundreds of reviews, but you'll never really know the experience until you bought the game. Take my experience, for example. Sonic Mania is considered to be this fantastic platformer with beautiful colors, wonderful controls, awesome soundtrack, and a sense of gameplay that hasn't been seen in a Sonic game since, well, the classics. It was an instant hit amongst fans, critics alike, and it was something me and Jelly, that is my girlfriend, we were really interested in it. It was just so we bought the game, downloaded it, played it for a bit, ran through the first stage, and enjoyed the music, loved the design. We were into the controls. We hated it. We hated it. I've given this game so many tries, honestly, but I just hate it. I don't like how Sonic controls. I hate the level design. And you could totally think my opinion is wrong. I can fucking hear the clickety-clack through this goddamn screen, I promise you. But that's my point. Everyone will have their goddamn opinions, but to alienate my own opinion as wrong because I just didn't like the game, that makes me speaking about games terrifying, especially in this day and age where people are so fickle to throw you overboard the moment you say I hate blank or I love blank online. So being a reviewer online is 10 times that, especially when you represent not just yourself. In fact, more so than that, you represent your company. Most of you don't even know who reviewed Death Stranding, do you? You know IGN has a review of Death Stranding and you associate that with their website and that they reviewed it somehow, but IGN is not some sort of like amalgamation of human beings that are evil with this corporate plan to take down Kojima. No, it was reviewed by one guy, and his name is Tristan Ogilvy. When he reviewed the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and gave it an 8, people were totally fine with that review. They were all right with it. It was good. It was good for them, sure. But then he gave Metro Exodus get this, he gave it, no, not a 4, not a 5 out of 10, not even a 6 out of 10. He gave it an 8.5. And a lot of people hated that review. Why? It's actually not because of the game itself, actually, but the rating. People wanted something higher, apparently, as if 8.5 wasn't already high enough. Yet I assume if it were 0.5 points higher, as in if it were a 9 out of 10, people wouldn't have downvoted the video so badly. In fact, most of the comments just pointed out the reviews that got higher ratings than Metro Exodus, as if comparing a sports game with a shooter is equivalent enough to evaluate the different reviews. Numbers don't really mean anything, let's face it. A game being 1.1 points better or lower than a different game is highly irrelevant. It's just the numerical value put upon a game by some random person doing their job. This number means so much to people, however, and I feel that sets a dangerous precedent. Reviewers are too scared to be honest now because a 0.5 difference could literally break their career or their website. They need to appease to the masses. If not, they face lambasted claims against them, stating how they are incompetent when compared to other reviewers who gave the same game higher scores. It's weird that nowadays opinions are considered wrong by people who haven't even consumed products. So if his review is wrong, why did you watch it in the first place? It's clear and obvious that you're trying to just find a review that better suits your hard-on for Kojima. It's clear you're not here for anything else but that. You're just trying to see just how good the game is, but not exactly how it's doing, or if it's even worth buying. You've already set your precedent. You've already done your pre-order. We get it, I know. Trust me, we all know. But really, Kojima is not a saint. He's not perfect. In fact, I would say MGS V wasn't even that great of a game in comparison to MGS 3 or even 4, who was a much linear game that had more charisma and more flavor to it than MGS 5, or V rather, that was more emulating a movie than it was emulating a real game. It had a few settings, a few weapons, and a few cool secrets here and there that really are dwarfed in comparison to the other games that Kojima has worked on. Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Kojima just because some person is getting shit on for his review. Like, I have nothing to lose. I'm just saying that the dude's not perfect. And that's just my opinion, too. You could totally think he's perfect, but I just don't think that way either. And there's a lot of people who don't think that way either. He is not immune to criticism, and I feel like you hating on someone's review on the game is only harming his intuition and his artistry for video games in general. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Death Stranding, be it boring, be it great, whatever, it's an original IP that hasn't been seen before. It is a creative little design, a creative little art piece, and might you hate it, might you like it, it doesn't matter. We should nurture creativity, but we should nurture it the right way and not just say, hey, it's perfect when clearly it's boring, or say that we hate it when clearly it's not that bad. We should just be honest, and he will learn from it. If he is a good developer, if he's not, then he'll just crush under his own weight. But until then, just be honest with the guy. He can take it. Honestly, this crying Kojima, he can take it. Trust me, he got fired once before. He can rise from the ashes once again. He'll be fine. Just be honest with the guy. And until you've played it, you really don't have much to say. Actually, I don't think anybody really has much to say until tomorrow, which that's the release date. So check out my Twitch channel and we'll be playing that game all day long. Hopefully Amazon delivers hours early to install it and whatever. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. I love you guys so much. Goodbye.